Okay, first reading of the day is for this week today that I'm going to do a couple is for Libra. I just pulled this fantastic spread a little bit ago, went over all my definitions and meditated on the deeper meanings of the cards. I'll explain the spread in a minute. This is my altar where I do everything. I've always worked on the floor and I still do. Here's my representation of air sign. That's me as a Libra. On my tchotchke, I keep batteries here to represent humanity. We didn't invent electricity, we discovered it. It honors the positive and the negative. Keep all my decks over here. I also have over here, and I want to explain this guy real quick. I always honor my angels, and I invite the archangels in at the end to represent their energy, but I always keep a shadow or demon energy off to the side to honor that, because our demons are the trials and tribulations we bring to ourselves. The only one I have to represent right now is Pennywise the Clown. I can talk about that later, but as I'm going through the spread, I just want to explain the things you might be seeing and not be creeped out by this guy over here. Right now, I have him turned away because I've had enough of demon energy and shadow energy. It taught me a lot of lessons. I'm a little done with him right now. So I've sent him away, but he's still here, and that's why you see him over here. This isn't random. I don't burn incense while I read. It gives me a headache. So this is the spread. And I'm a Libra, so I started with Libra this week. I'm not going to read for every zodiac sign because I don't have time and I don't want to. I'm going to do a couple readings for a couple different zodiac signs in my circle of people that I love. Recently, I've reconnected again with a woman that I consider to be my best friend, probably. And I'm going to send this to her. You know who you are. So this reading is for, May 19th through the 25th of 2019 for the Libras in my life, myself and my BFF in particular. And then another Libra that I casually know, but I'm delighted by, who influences me a lot, that I go to school with. She's a teacher of mine, and she's a Libra, and we talk about that a lot. So I meditated on her as well, and myself and my best friend while I did this reading, and it is you guys, Libras, it's going to be a great week. It's going to be a great week for me and my Libras, but maybe this will resonate with any other Libra. If you're watching this, I need you to get back to me with just a yes or no. Did this resonate, or do you have no idea what I'm talking about? It resonates for me, but it's my way of also practicing. Like, how can I honor a Libra message for the week? So I'm just starting small for myself and for just one or two other Libras that I love and connect with. So let's get right into it. This is a reading for Libra, myself and my other Libras for the week of May 19th through the 25th, 2019. I pulled these cards first, and then I pulled these cards second, but I'm going to start with reading them because this is from my celestial deck. And I'm very astrological in my readings. I focus hard on the zodiac and what astrology means in my life and the fact that I am a Libra. So these are the messages for the week that the solar system that we are connected to is reflecting back to us. And also, it's an acknowledgement of all this, but it's also what they have to say about it. So let's get into it. The first card I pulled for the weekly mood that the universe wants to tell me, this is Mutable Earth, and it's the Prince of Pentacles in reverse, which is the Knight. Some decks call it the Prince or the Princess. Just like with the Page, sometimes they'll call it the Knave. So this is the Prince of Pentacles in reverse. This is a very earthbound card. It's Mutable Earth, and it's about establishing routine, or maybe even changing up your routine in your everyday life. Libra, this card in the universe, the solar system in particular, is saying to us, focus on your daily routine. Don't daydream so much. This week is not about too much daydreaming. This is Earth. It's Pentacles. Pentacles is Earth. And it's about staying in the reverse. It's really telling us to stay grounded, okay? Stay grounded in your real everyday life. Focus or refocus on your home, on your finances, on work, education. For me, it's about staying really focused on school, because I'm entering into a cycle. So I got to be focused on that. But it's also telling you, the business of living is really mundane. That's what my grandmother used to say. And that, yeah, we got to focus on this, on the daily grind, but keep keep some spontaneity there to offset. Like this week, myself personally, I am going to really focus on my daily routine and the ins and outs of my daily life and my schedule. But I'm going to throw in a little get together with friends, and I think that that's a good idea for anybody, that's any Libra that wants to focus this way, and the solar system wants us to. But don't forget to be a little spontaneous to offset that daily grind. The other message of the Prince of Pentacles in reverse is don't be such a perfectionist either. If you want to make your lists and you want to clean out your home and you want to stay focused on, your earthly routines, that's fine. But take a softer approach. Take a softer approach with yourself and with others. Yeah, be soft. Don't be such a perfectionist. But, the solar system right now is really telling us to stay grounded in your real everyday life, in the here and now, and to focus on the doing of those things. Second message that came through is a fire message, mutable fire, and the Prince of Wands, which is the Knight of Wands. It's an action card. I love this because it really embodies how I personally feel right now. Libra, we are charged up this week. We are energetic. We are passionate. This is about action, taking action, and manifesting this energy through action. It says do. And it suggests a rapid, sudden onset of growth, and seize it, and be courageous and bold. And you feel like you can take on the world this week. We really do. We feel like we can take on the world this week, but we've got to beware a little bit too. This card's about being methodical. And I read that in the definition, but I heard it in my guides too. It's an action week, but it's the universe and the solar system is saying, don't be impulsive. Think before you act. Be methodical, which ties into this card. It really does. Stay focused and be methodical. But to still seize the moment, because you're really passionate right now. We're really passionate this week. We're just on fire. But to check yourself and make sure your actions and your words match your goals. And if you're focusing on this, that's going to happen naturally, right? So we're on fire. We're passionate. But we got to stay methodical and not be impulsive in those actions. Okay, Libras? This guy. Whew. When a major arcana card comes out in this part of the spread, daggone, does that melt my butter? And, for those of us that are Christian, I'm kind of Christian, but for my other two Libras that I was thinking of, this is God. And I want us to pause and take note of that. This is God the Father for you guys. And I'll be honest, it's God the Father for me too. My beliefs are there's God, source, and then there's universe. For Christians, universe is Holy Spirit. And so this is God. This card. God, I love this card. Right now we're feeling this week and we're embodying, and the solar system is reflecting this message back to us. Success, success, success. Abundant. You are radiant. Libras, we are so radiant this week. We are on fire this week, and everybody sees it. This week is our week to shine, and people will be drawn to us this week, Libra, because we are the sun this week and we are embodying it. This resonates for me. I'm feeling this way today. I feel like my week is going to be this week. This is going to be my feeling this week. I hope it's your feeling too, my other Libras. It's just such a wonderful, powerful, happy message. You know, we're radiant, we're on fire, we're abundant. People are drawn to us. And if you've gone through a difficult time, or you are, or you have, you know, the sun brings messages too that we've been waiting for. If you've been waiting for something this week, I kind of have, in some specific ways, but also in some bigger, more general ways. I feel like I've been waiting for something. The sun's saying, it's here. This message you've been waiting for has arrived. And that can mean a lot of things for a lot of different people. But the message overall, no matter what it is, the solar system and the sun wants you to know this is a shiny, warm light. And the message is things will get better. This last cycle, you know, has been about getting to a place you are right now. And we really know ourselves right now, Libras, because of the last cycle, and it's profound. The sun is profound. The place we are right now, because of the end of this past cycle, we're here now, and we're feeling great. And it suggests that we're really feeling confident. As myself as a Libra, that resonates for me. My last cycle is over and it's left me feeling like I'm standing in the sun, and I'm feeling very confident as a Libra. And it suggests feeling physically charged. Yes, this week I do feel very physically charged. And for myself as a Libra and all the others, my guides came through and talked about this. For added strength and to give this message and this energy some extra oomph, you know, a little extra kick. Meditate with your hands on your solar plexus and open up that chakra and feel that part of your body, because that's where the sun's really going to resonate from. And I think that's a good idea for any sign, anybody, anywhere, anytime, is to imagine the sun, imagine your radiance and success, and imagine that you've come through difficult times, and here you are in the sun. You've had these profound lessons taught to you and these profound realizations, and to just meditate on that for extra kick. So yes, good things from the sun. Sorry, I had to pause. I had to cough, clear my throat, and have a sip of coffee because I'm charged up with coffee more than I should be. Last message from the solar system. God came through. I think our angels here on earth and our specific guides were telling us to be that. Like, hey, be practical, be reasonable, you know, be methodical, do the damn thing. Last message from the universe is the princess. In this deck, the prince and princess equal the Knight of Wands. Again, wands, so fire, fire energy, always great to have. As a Libra, we have Aries right across from us. So we're an air sign with fire right across. I welcome the fire message a lot because I'm right across from fire. I'm right across from Mars. So I'm going to take any fire message I can get because it's looking right at me and I'm looking right at it. So I listen, you know. And I love the message of the Knight of Wands. First of all, it's summer. And where I live here in North Carolina, it is the beginning of summer. It is a beautiful time. It suggests the beginning of a new cycle, and we are at the beginning of a new cycle. And this week in particular is the beginning of a new cycle because we just had a full moon last night, and it was the end of a cycle that was profound. And here we are in the summer. And I love that. It's reflecting, hey, make note of the fact that, you know, spring is over, winter's over, spring is over. Now it's summer. And summer is a time of discovery. This card is about limitless potential and being a free spirit. And it's about being free. And it's also about discovery. and being free from the most recent cycle in your life. I personally, as a Libra, this past cycle, this past 4 to 6 weeks has been really kick my ass. I'm really happy to see this card. You know, the solar system and universe and Holy Spirit is reflecting back to me, hey, your last cycle's over. It's summer now. Be free and open yourself up to the limitless potential that's inside of you and discover it. Yeah, discover it. All good things. So thank you, solar system and universe and Holy Spirit. Thank you for giving me this message. You know, I drew these situational cards. And then I immediately drew these, and I read and record these first and take notes on that first. And then I go back and do this guy. And I pull these first, but I read them all second. So let's get into the present situation. You know, this sort of represents the cycle we just went through and the cycle that we're about to play out this week. And so we're going to start with this guy. This is I charge it up. Sometimes if I need to get to a deeper meaning, I use this to point at it, and it helps bring my guides and universe through to help me with the deeper meaning. So I hold it like this, and I wrap it around my fingers. I use my left hand though, but I have my phone and my camera in my left hand, and I hold it on here, and I just let the messages come through. So, present situation. This is obviously like an incomplete Celtic cross. I don't do the other 4 cards in the Celtic cross because that is indicative of a bigger cycle, and I want to focus on just May 19th through the 25th. So the present situation, 7 of Cups. Ooh, choices. Right now we're thinking about our choices, Libra. This card's about choices. It's also about, the overall meaning can be about your choices, looking at all your choices. Be on the lookout for illusions. Things that are unseen. And illusions can mean a lot of things. And be on the lookout from wishful thinking. Stay grounded in reality, which is further confirmed by the universe, especially in these 2 cards. Right now, Libra, you feel like you have a lot of opportunities, but you need to be careful. You need to be careful of your own illusions, which is unrealistic ideas. That's in the written meaning of the card. And for me, when I was looking at it for myself and then for my best friend, I heard our guides say, yeah, but don't be unrealistic, okay? Like, it's okay to be positive with wishful thinking. Overall, wishful thinking is often for something positive, right? Like, you don't wishfully think for bad things. If you do, you've got a problem. You probably need therapy. But, you know, wishful thinking isn't bad, but be on the lookout for it and the illusion of unrealistic ideas. And, you know, we have a lot of opportunities. We have a lot of different things we could choose from. And this week we're thinking about it. This week we're going to ponder our choices for the near future and for our long-term future. And we're thinking about it this week, Libra. Me and my BFF, I know in very different ways, we are 2 Libras that we're looking at some of this stuff right now. You know, where to live, where to go, what to do. And we're starting to, we've been thinking about it, but this week we're going to think about it hard. This card really warns us. 7 of Cups warns you to, how do I put it? Your ego might get in the way. And your ego might pull you in a specific direction. And ego meaning, our ego is the way we want to see ourselves and the way we want other people to see ourselves. So take a step back for a second and think about not letting our ego get in the way when we're looking at all these choices and opportunities, and to try to keep ourselves in check and in balance. And as Libras, that's important for us. And it warns against keeping in balance. Yes, let outside influences be in your ear, but also to really be mindful of those influences and be mindful of your own ego influencing your choices and to embody your higher self. Yes, embody our higher selves. And, a sign, and also to be mindful, this card is a sign of wishful thinking and unrealistic ideas being projected onto these ideas. Again, it's never a bad idea to, wish for the best. But it's just an idea. My guide said, hey, you may have some ideas. They could be realistic or unrealistic, but ultimately, these are ideas. This is a thinking card. We're thinking about this stuff right now. And embody your higher self. We're Libras. So we're thinking about it hard because balance is important to us. We want to honor the balance. And while we're thinking about all these choices, we're going to have moments where we're not 100% grounded in reality. Yeah, a little dreamy sometimes. And everybody's that way, especially if you're a woman. Oh, hell, men dream too. And it's telling us, yeah, you're going to have some unrealistic ideas and you're going to wishfully think while you're considering all this. It's okay to daydream, but stay focused on your goals. This card also can be about shiny object syndrome. And what my guides told me when I read the word shiny object syndrome was, my one guide said, you may have shiny object syndrome, but focus on what's best for you, Libra. Keep it in balance. So, what's influencing us? Sometimes people will say what's crossing us. I think that when you're pulling these cards and you pull this card over this present situation card and you say, this is what's crossing me, well, that's what's going to come out. I'm trying to be a little bit different about that. I'm trying to say, this is what's influencing us. Sometimes what's influencing us is something negative. Sometimes it's positive. So I don't read the influencing card as, I kind of look at both the upright and the reverse meaning. This is air energy because it's swords. It's a number 3. I'm not connecting to the number so much, but I'm going to pay attention to it a little bit. 3 of Swords is about heartbreak. It's about pain. It's about grief. I mean, it's stabbed through the heart. This is really resonating for me because my last cycle was all about that. I spent the last 5 to 6 weeks in the last moon cycle like this guy. Oh my God, I'm dying. And it's still influencing me, because those experiences from this pain in the last cycle, and just in general, overall in life, that pain and heartbreak is good to recall when we've got these choices to make and these opportunities, And so it's about heartbreak and pain and grief, but it's also about releasing pain and forgiveness and optimism. So what's influencing us this week is, yeah, we're gonna think back and reflect on the shit we've been through. But you know what? Through that is an overall message that yes, you've experienced some pain, but that's the only way we can grow and change, hence our demons. And that's why he's there. Yeah, I've had pain. And yeah, I've brought a lot of it on myself. We bring it on ourselves, Libra. We all do. But through that pain can come forgiveness, and to allow optimism and forgiveness and compassion to influence us in our decisions, but, in all things. Yeah, in all things. And it also suggests in a very situational way, this card. And it's, for us, Libra, this week, this could be an influence for us. Don't take harsh words from others to heart. And others meaning even ourselves too. Any harshness. And to just keep in mind and remember that We can choose, Libra. We can choose to accept harsh words and take them to heart and, and let them pierce us. Or we can be firm and stand our ground and own our own feelings. It can have one meaning in the upright and it can have another meaning in the reverse. So I really want to honor both those things that, yeah, you may have been pierced, but allow that to let you grow and be firm, grow and change and allow it to reaffirm what you now know based on all this shit and be firm in who you are. And that's going to influence us. It also suggests the card overall. And I can't remember if this suggestion comes in the upright or the reverse meaning, but either way, it needs to be honored that this influence for this week is about a shift in energy. And it's about a shift in energy towards compassion and growth. And the message is to let a bigger perspective come into your heart and allow it to let you to grow and have better perspective. Because that's only going to help you with these decisions, Okay, my guides are saying to me now, hey, remember some past pain that you've experienced. If you think this is a specific situation, remember and take what you hear and do with it what you want. Be firm, focus on yourself, but to focus on growth and to be compassionate and allow for change and just overall bigger perspective. Yeah. This guy down here. Whew. So this is the seat of the last cycle. Sometimes in the Celtic cross, this is called the distant past or the overall past of your life. And this over here is the most recent past. I'm looking at this as the seat of the last cycle I was in. It's strength in reverse. Relatively self-explanatory, but deeper. What's the opposite of strength? The seat of the last cycle, maybe you were feeling weak in a couple ways, Libra. I know I was, and from a very specific situation. But maybe, other Libras watching this, my other Libras, might not have as specific of a situation, but in this last cycle, in the seat of it, we were feeling a little weak, maybe. Maybe we feel like the last couple weeks we've been spending a little too much time daydreaming, a little too unrealistic, really focused on that wishful thinking. Not bad, but not always good. And it's making us feel like this last cycle, maybe we were a little weak. And it's about being a little hasty. And how can I put it? You were hasty, we caved into something, and we didn't use our head. The strength card in reverse is about using your heart sometimes instead of your head. And in this last recent cycle, we allowed ourselves maybe to be manipulated through our heart. But we could have done that to ourselves. It doesn't necessarily need to be a person. It can be ourselves, And it's not the thief card. What's that swords card? I think it's the 4 or the 7 of swords, where that guy has a pile of swords and some are dropping. It's the thief card. He's running. He just stole something. So it's not the thief card. But it's more like maybe you've allowed yourself or you yourself have manipulated yourself, and it's a manipulation of your heart, but it's not the thief card. It's more about recently you've been giving way to your heart instead of your head, and maybe you haven't been as strong or as intelligent with your thoughts and feelings as you should have been. Maybe you're kicking yourself that for a little bit here now. I know I have. And it's about maybe this week you've arrived at a place of, I feel like I've been out of balance, in my last cycle, in the seat of my last cycle. And it's leaving us depleted. And that's hard for us Libras because we really want balance. And we kind of felt like maybe we were disconnected from our own power. And we weren't taking care of ourselves very well either physically. The Strength card in reverse can suggest that, so I want to mention that. And I want to mention that because it resonates for me as a Libra, because while I've been doing a lot of this, and I'll get to that in a minute, during all this time, I felt really depleted as a Libra this last cycle. My sleep-wake cycle hasn't been as good. I haven't been eating so great. I've been feeling a little weak. So yes, this card resonates for me in the seat of my last cycle. This is also, the literal definition of it. One of them is you weren't thinking with your head and you were letting your heart get in the way. And if some of this was happening, this card can suggest over emotion, being emotive, explosive behavior or words, or just being, too in your heart and articulating it. And for me, that comes through as I said things to some people that I haven't meant recently. Not that I didn't mean them. Let me take that back. I did mean them, but they didn't come out quite the way I wanted to. Or maybe for another Libra, maybe you've been thinking with your heart recently more than your head, and you're feeling weak about that, and you really want to grow from that at this point. And you're reflecting back on that and saying, I want to use my head a little bit more this time. And that's never a bad idea for anybody, especially for us Libras, because we want to stay balanced. Recent past. I get this card a lot. I've been getting the Four of Swords and the Eight of Swords a lot. Four of Swords, recent past situation. This is about rest and recuperation. It's about deep introspection and contemplation. And I would definitely say for myself as a Libra, I've spent my last cycle in a state of recovery, in a state of meditation, and thinking about old wounds. And we've been very silent and inactive. And I had to be personally because, So, I was so deeply reflective personally that, dealing with all this, that I didn't maybe focus on my sleep cycle so well. But I'm okay with that because I've spent a lot of time in the last cycle doing this. And I think I'm not the only Libra that's been doing this. It's about staying silent and being inactive and retreating a little bit. I can definitely say for myself, I did retreat from a situation, and I have been not 100% silent, but I've definitely pulled back and started to really focus last cycle on being quiet and going inward. And it's about, our recent past really put us in a place where we needed to step back and reassess and to take pause. So that is my recent past. The weakness, Libra, that we've been feeling, that we embodied in certain ways, has caused us to very recently, maybe in the last 2 weeks, yes, I'm feeling that now, my guides are saying, last week in particular, we were doing a lot of this, pulling in, praying. Some of us have been really praying. Who's been praying a lot? Like on their knees, thinking about it even in their sleep, praying, contemplating. So that's the recent past. Okay, above us. Sometimes the part of this reading is called What's Above Us. I've really found words that resonated for me, and this is what's crowning us. This is our overall general thoughts, mostly thoughts, but somewhat feelings too, about all this week in general. This is the crowning feeling and thoughts about this week. Look at this guy. Four of Pentacles in reverse. So this is about self-protection, and it's about overspending and greed and feeling like, overall right now, we're Libras, we're really thinking about, spending and giving and receiving, and the dynamic and the ratio of giving and receiving. And we're really in self-protection mode from this motherfucker. Look at this asshole. He's taking. It's mine. Right now, this leaves us in a place of, I need to put myself first, protect myself. And the card in reverse suggests that we're reevaluating what's most important to us, Libra. And we're feeling like that in the past cycle, we've lost sight of the earthly importance of things like money, health, what we can afford literally, because this is Pentacles, it can mean money, but it's also about what we can afford emotionally, what we can afford to feel, and what we can afford to think, and the ratio of that between ourselves and other people. And now the crowning feeling and thoughts are that we want greater return on all the things that we invest in. And we're getting to the point where we demand it now. So we're going into this week looking for a greater return on these things instead of feeling like we're depleted. We're tired of this feeling of depletion. We're not going to take that anymore this week. We don't want to feel taken for granted. We don't want to feel unappreciated in any situation. Work, family, finances, relationship, any of that. And the meaning of the card suggests that, we really want to surround ourselves with positivity and positive dynamics and positive people. We are in a place of declutter. We're like, enough. We're going to self-protect. Out with the old, out with negativity, out with things that aren't giving us any reciprocity. Balance, out with the old, in with the new. Declutter, self-protection mode. But also, it can mean quite literally something in regards to money or your thoughts and feelings and how you're spending. And it's right now our crowning feeling for the week is we're going to spend more wisely in every way. We're going to spend our thoughts more wisely. We're going to spend our feelings more wisely. We're going to spend our money more wisely. I don't know about y'all Libras, but I've been a little out of balance in all three of those places. Not over the top. I'm not in trouble. The tower didn't show up here anywhere. No burning buildings. No death and destruction pain. Just, we're aware of this. We're aware of reciprocity. We're aware of what we're worth. We're going to get rid of anything this week that's not serving us in a balanced way. And we're going to protect ourselves and be smarter about how we spend everything. And that's the crowning feeling for the week. This resonates with me as a Libra, and I hope it resonates with my other Libras too. And this guy. Yeah, this guy. So, this week, the future, the nearest future, I'm pulling it in from the 19th through the 25th, and I'm wanting it to channel in for this week, but I could also, because of all this wishful thinking happening and myself as a Libra, and I'm a Libra doing the reading for myself and other Libras that I know, this could be about a greater outcome of the cycle, but it's really channeling in for this week. Knave of Pentacles, which is the page. So the outcome for this week we're looking for and what we're feeling and what's on the horizon